Maybe we're here, maybe we're not. I'm gonna hope we're here. Hey everybody, it's Susan Bell from Patchwork Chicken Studio. Do you remember when we used to do that live thing all the time? I haven't done those in a long time, like 2 years. So I thought I'd catch you up just for a little while. I'm going to try to do these on Wednesday nights. Right now, Wednesday is a pretty good day without a conflict. It's a little hard. I did about 2.5 years ago bought a house and had to move from where I was closer to my job to farther away from my job. So my commute is a little crazy, but I don't commute every day, so that does help. But anyway, I kind of got out of the practice of doing these lives because I didn't have a good setup. I still don't have a perfect setup. I'm in a basement. You can kind of tell that, but actually I love this space that I'm in. It's really big. The ceilings are really high. You can kind of see just a little like up. I can't ban it up there. A little bit of the open ceilings. It's an unfinished basement, but I did paint the walls so it's a little bit cheerful in here. It has a big window. You can see that. If there was a fire, I could climb out through there's a little ladder. So anyway, so my studio isn't different than in that big room that I had before, but still have a lot of space. And I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. We have a new kitten, and he's down here by my feet. I wish he'd let me pick him up. He doesn't like to be picked up, but maybe we'll see him at some point during the live, which would be really cool. If you're on, go ahead and make a comment so I know you're here. Otherwise, if you're watching on replay, go ahead and do hashtag replay for me, and I'll know that you visited. That'd be great. And hopefully we gain some audience over some time. But anyway, you can see some of my sewing machines are out here behind me. And this one over here, right here, is my newest one. I got it in, I believe, November, right before Thanksgiving. And it's a Singer 201, which is commonly called the Rolls Royce of Singer sewing machines. It's not fancy, but it's very, very good. it's vast. It has a lot of power. It can kind of power through heavier stuff. I'm still learning what all it can do, and that's true about all of my vintage machines, because while I've been always using vintage machines, I don't think I always used them to their advantage, to their best, to everything that they could do. So anyway, this little cat, he's driving me crazy. He's wondering what I'm doing. He's like, you're talking. Why are you talking? You never talk to me. I'm not talking to you, honey. So anyway, tonight I thought I would talk about our tote bags. So our tote bags are kind of new. We have been doing tote bags. I started with some tote bags back in October when we went back to doing shows. And do you remember shows, craft shows? We missed them so much. And when shows came back, we were there. And we did a whole bunch of shows in the fall and really did very well, and got to try out some new products and meet up with all the people that have come to our shows before, and new people, because we did some new shows. Ouch, don't bite me. No, he's a monster. But anyway, going back to shows was awesome. We could test out this new product, these wonderful tote bags. And I love making the tote bags. Sewing for me anyway is just very zen, and I can always kind of count on it making me feel better. So I like to spend time down here in the sewing room. But our tote bags, I found a pattern. Thank you. You're very helpful. I found a pattern online that I kind of liked and played with it a little bit and made a few adjustments and came up with a product that I like. And these can be made, the cool thing is, can be made in any size. So I can make little ones like this if I wanted to. I can make really big ones. And so I settled on tote bags that would be about 13 or 14 inches wide and about 15 inches tall. And this takes a specific amount of fabric, which leaves very little waste. So if you've heard us talk before about we don't like to waste anything, we don't like to throw scraps away or have scraps left over, large scraps, because that means we weren't efficient. Fabric is expensive. And if you've ever been to a fabric store, fabric is expensive. Even you use your coupons, you get things on sale, it still can be really expensive. And so we try to save everything, use every little scrap of everything that we're going to use to make a product. And so this uses the entire length, or actually the width of a fabric very well. And so we don't have much scrap left over. Now these are our box bottom. You can kind of see this. This means that they'll stand up once you put something in there. And the outside is a pretty cotton calico. This is one of my favorites. This is a really gorgeous chicken print. And we had enough fabric to do 2 of these. And one of them right away was stamped up by my egg lady, Stephanie. So Stephanie, I drive to town over, a few towns over to pick up fresh eggs every week, usually on Mondays. I was there this past Monday and she wasn't home, so I went to get the eggs, just could go in the little shed and get the eggs. And all the chickens came out and they were like pooling in front of me just pecking in the dirt and talking to me. They have a lot of things to say. I do not speak chicken, which is kind of hard. But anyway, they all pooled up there and they're telling me stuff, and I realized they thought I had snacks. Next time I do this, I'm going to make sure I bring snacks, because I think they were pretty disappointed when I just got in the car and drove away. I didn't give them anything to eat. Anyway, they're really pretty. They're all kinds of colors, and that's what this bag reminds me of. So Stephanie bought the very first one, and this is our second one that we have. And I won't make any more because I can't find this fabric anymore. But that's part of how we do things here for things like totes. That fabric is kind of one of a kind. You're going to see 1 or maybe 2 bags, and that's it. When they're gone, they're gone. That's because fabric changes so often that if I find something and it's obvious, it's really, everybody wants it, it's so exciting, it's so pretty, and then I go back to the store and it's gone. Well, guess what? Everybody else thought it was pretty too, and they bought it. So new fabric all the time. So, but anyway, these bags have the cotton calico on the outside. So this is the decorative fabric, and it goes all the way around and up the other side. And inside, this is made with cotton canvas or duck. So canvas, you think of like tents or whatever. It's not really a tent, not really tent material. But if you buy like gear bags, like backpacks or camping bags, things that hold tools and things like that, it's canvas. It's really a thick, stiff fabric. And what it does is it holds up really well, but it also keeps a shape, and I like that. So I've top stitched this all down so it'll keep this nice shape. Even if you wash it, it's still stiff, and that's what you want. And it also means that the straps are stiff if I use the calico or the canvas to do that with. And so canvas is awesome. It's like it's as tough as denim as far as that's concerned. So this bag's going to last a long time. And remember I said I use every scrap? There's a pocket in here. And of course there's a pocket. Why would you want a bag without a pocket? And so that leftover little piece of fabric at the top, it's actually about 9 inches long, gives you this really nice pocket in here. And to keep it from gapping, it is separated. See a little stitch down the middle there. So you can put your phone on one side, and you can put your wallet and your keys and whatever on the other side, and not lose anything. So we do make these with pockets in them. I think I have a couple of my early ones didn't have pockets, but most of them have pockets now. And in the bottom, to kind of help them keep that structure, that box bottom, use this plastic canvas. You can buy this stuff at the craft store. I think they're like $1 a sheet or something. But I get quite a few out of there, and we just cut it to fit. And then that goes in the bottom. Some tote bags that you buy, you'll see that it has it in there. And that is really made to stiffen that bottom and make it more sturdy, make it hold up and keep that kind of boxy shape that you like. So when I'm going out looking for fabric for tote bags, I'm kind of wanting things that go together. And I don't always use a solid color on the inside. Sometimes I use a print. So if I have something that makes sense that goes together, here's another one. So you've seen this fabric before if you've seen our products. We have some hot pads made with this. They're little country signs or Americana type signs. And in this case, I could have used a blue, maybe a solid blue or a red or something. But I had this really pretty ticking. So this is like pillow ticking. Doesn't it look like going to grandma's house, right? And this just fits so well in my mind. Fits so well that's how I made it. And so sometimes I do use a patterned cotton canvas, or ticking is great. Sometimes I use denim, but that's going to really help this bag hold up. And then this is really pretty the way it is with that ticking at the top and those cute, cute, cute little farm signs there. And this is one of my earlier ones. Does not have a pocket. I wasn't thinking very clearly then, but it does have its little plastic stiffener in the bottom. And most of the tote bags I make have longer handles. They'll go over your shoulder, which is great. If I'm shopping, because these are great for like the farmer's market or the flea market. I'm a huge flea market, thrift store, antique mall kind of shopper. I love that stuff. And if I'm going, I need somewhere to put my stuff to carry it around. They don't usually have carts, and so by the time I get done, I got like an armful of crazy stuff. And so if I have a bag that'll fit on my shoulder, I can put the things in the bag as I go through. And then when I get up to the checkout, it's a lot more organized for me. And I haven't dropped anything or broken anything, because you never know. Sometimes I'm buying glassware, sometimes tools, sometimes decorative stuff, decor. Fabric, I'm always buying fabric when I run across it, especially vintage fabric. I'm in love with vintage fabric. So having these bags, that works. And these are also great for going to the beach. You're going to the lake for the weekend. You're going camping and put stuff in here. Really great too if you're just going to send the kids over to grandma's for the night. Bye-bye. Go away. Go on. Come back tomorrow. You can put all their stuff in there. Toy, whoopee, their blanket, their pajamas, a toothbrush, all that stuff can go in there and go right on over to grandma's house. If it gets dirty, it's cotton. You throw it in the wash. So you take out the little plastic stiffener at the bottom and you just throw it in the wash with your regular clothes. You can spot treat it if you got something on there that's not going to come out easily, but they're just going to come out looking great. That's the real value of cotton. It's always going to wash. It's not going to hold on to stains. I have this one shirt that I like. It's my favorite shirt. But it's a polyester blend. It's really stretchy, but I like the color. It has a cute little detail at the neck. And I always spill something on it and nothing comes out. I have to treat it. Sometimes I have to wash it twice. That polyester grabs on the stains and holds on to them, especially grease. Like if I'm cooking and I didn't put my apron on and I cook the eggs, then I'm going to get these little grease spots on my shirt. I have to wash it twice and I have to spray treat everything. When it's cotton, you don't necessarily have to do that. A lot of times it'll wash right out without you having to do anything. Our bowl cozies are made with cotton. It's the same thing, cotton canvas. Those stains come right on out. It just doesn't hold on to them. So anyway, when I'm out looking for fabric, I buy the cotton canvas. There's a piece. You can you hear that? It's really stiff. I buy the cotton canvas, and you can buy it by the yard. In all kinds of colors, so I can always match the colors. Sometimes I find that canvas or that duck in a print that I like. So I have a couple of bins over there with fabric in them. One is for bowl cozies and the other one is for bags. Don't ask me how I figured that out, and I divided them up, but that's what I did. Anyway, so I go buy the fabric, and I usually buy more than one tote bag's worth of fabric because it's likely this red will match a bunch of other things. And so I start, collect my canvas. I have a bunch of different kind of colors that I can pick through as I'm going. I do a lot of black and navy blue though. Unfortunately, those aren't my favorite colors, but they're what works. And most people want a black bag. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you line your bags with a light color, you'll never lose anything in the bottom of them again. Goes for purses too. So we all buy black things and then we lose everything in the bottom of them. And I like a lighter color because it's easier to see stuff. That's my secret there. So I go out and I pile up. If something goes on sale, I'll buy multiple yards. Sometimes I find brand new fabric hanging on a hanger at the thrift store. And I will buy that too. That's cost effective. If it's used fabric or it's been washed and it's dirty, it stays there. But if it's new, it smells new, and it's crispy and new, I know I can tell. I've been working with fabric for 50 years. If it's new and I can get that piece and it's big enough for a project, I'm going to pick it up for that $3, $4, $5 because I'm going to save a little bit of money. This keeps our costs low to our customers. And that's super important because we only got so much money to spend. All of us, I think we're all limited that way, especially these days. With inflation, we got to really be watching what we spend. But then I go out and I look for the print fabric that goes on the outside. And so I'm going to tell you these next three pieces I'm going to show you and are brand new. Two of them are batik. Batik is a type of dyed fabric. It's a very old technique, actually invented in the East. So China, Japan, that area. I believe it was a Thailand type craft, but anyway, it's made by placing wax on the fabric and then you Then you dye the fabric and then you boil the wax out. And it leaves this effect of 2 different colors. But anyway, I found 3 beautiful pieces at the thrift store the other day. Brand new. They were brand new and they are gorgeous. And 2 of them are batiks. So we're going to be using these for bags at some point. It's a little more turquoise than it's showing up on the camera. That's a little bit blue. This is a kind of a Cocopelli Southwest, and this is just beautiful. The brown is a gorgeous, like a dark chocolate, and the camera's kind of washing it out a little bit. There was enough of this fabric that I can make a tote, but I also could probably make a pair of hot pads as well. So that's good use of fabric. This one too, really, really pretty. Again, it's more turquoise than it looks on camera. Very rich fabric, and this is very thick fabric, very, very good quality, a very tight weave. You know how you read about thread counts in sheets and things like that. Well, the higher the count, the more dense the fabric is. So, and then here's another piece of Cocopelli fabric. This one's pretty accurate color-wise. Just love it. A nice buttery kind of color, and then you've got your little dancing Cocopellis. Cocopelli is kind of a thing of mine, has been for a long time. He's sort of a trickster in a way, but he's also very happy, and I want to be happy. So Cocopelli is my guy. And I have some other fabrics I've picked up. I think this is really pretty, and not everybody's about the pink, but I like pink, and this has a brown background. And so this one will probably end up being a tote bag at some point. It's really vibrant. I really like that one. And then, of course, I can never resist a patriotic fabric. So I've got this really, really pretty stars. Very vintagey looking. They're not really, it's not really vintage, but this'll make a nice bag as well. And then I have some vintage inspired fabric. I do not think it's vintage, but it's very vintage inspired. It is a little more yellow in person than we're seeing it here. I think my camera light is a little bit washing things out, but this one's really pretty. And just the style of it is very vintagey. And I have some gray and pink flowers. This will make a great bag as well. And the cool thing about the tote bags, in my mind, is they're so colorful, and you'll never see anybody else carrying one just like that one. Like I said, we make 1, maybe 2. And we do that to keep them, you know, kind of unique. I'm not going to lose that bag, or I'm not going to leave it behind sitting somewhere, because maybe I have a cheapy tote bag I got for free when I went to the home show. You know, they give you a bag when you walk in. That's where you put all your literature and you go home and you throw it all away. I actually used some of mine this last time, but you know, they're handing you stuff, so you stick it in a little bag and you go on home. But anyway, if I lose that bag, I'm not even going to think about it. And I might leave it behind, or I might put junk in it to take to the thrift store or whatever. When I make these bags, I'm not going to leave this behind. I'm not. They're too pretty for that. Here's a mandala kind of fabric. I love this. I saw this and I had to have it. So I have a piece of this and I just think it's gorgeous. Again, this one's probably going to end up with a black background or maybe purple, because I can get purple canvas, purple duck. But I think that bag is going to fly away when I get it made. And they don't take me a whole lot of time to make. There's a lot of ironing involved, though. That's probably the worst part of it, because I really have not liked to iron, not since I was a kid. Now, I'm old enough that we had to iron things. That was a given. You had to iron things. And ironing, I don't like ironing. I still don't like ironing. I'm 60 years old and I still don't like ironing, but I have to do it. When you're doing the tote bags, you got to crisp up all the corners. When you're making the straps, you're making a fold. So they get a fold. It's a magic fold, so you don't have to turn them right side out. This is a trick I learned not so long ago, maybe 10 years ago. I learned how to do that, because I used to think, how could people make these? Because I could never turn that strap right side out. Well, you don't have to if you do it right. Duh. So yeah, you can learn things. Old dogs can learn new tricks. But anyway, there's a lot of ironing. So there's up and down ironing things in that. Ugh. But I still like to make the tote bags. So it's nice to see these, like, here's a little stack of fabric, and I cut it, and then I take it to the sewing machine, and poof, we have a bag. It's amazing to me. It's a feat of engineering, and I think that's part of why I like doing it. And I have chili peppers. Now, this is one where I already had one and sold it, and I was able to get more fabric. So there'll be another chili pepper bag, but this one, We actually offered it to the organizer at one of the shows we did. She was working so hard, and we were still wearing masks, and she had a rough job ahead of her, just trying to keep everybody put your mask on and making sure people were safe and being safe. And we were very in kind of tight quarters. And nobody got sick that I know of. I didn't get sick then. But she had a tough job, and she came by our booth and she picked that bag up and then she put it back. And then she picked it up again and then she put it back. And she came around the next day, 2-day show, picked it up and put it back. And so I wrapped it up for her and tried to give it to her. And she said she couldn't take it. She worked for the city. So I get that. You know, it's like a bribe, and I'm not bribing anybody. But I wanted her to have it because she wanted it, because she was working so hard. So we gave it to her for a super deep discount, $10. $10. I let her have the bag for $10. So anyway, I knew this would sell more, so I've gotten some more of this fabric in, and we'll make some more. I have this very muted kind of fall leaves thing that I like. It's blue, getting a terrible reflection here. Blue and yellow, kind of a rust color. So this is really pretty. I think it's very muted. Not everybody likes like, wow, in your face, right? So I got something that's kind of muted as well. And I think it's really pretty. I have apples, and I wouldn't be looking for apple fabric, except we've had a lot of requests. And so we have 3 types of apple pot holders right now, hot pads, in our inventory, and we will have an apple bag. So I think this one's really cute, very sweet. Those apples look really good. Maybe I'm hungry because it's dinner time. And sometimes I like things that are just whimsical. So we have parrots, and I have no doubt the parrots will go home with somebody at some point. And I have this, which I think is beautiful. You see the black and gray. It's almost, it is sort of a bluish gray. It's not really blue. And then you've got those yellow kind of accents that make everything pop out. I love florals. Obviously, you've seen some already, but I love a floral that has some sort of an unusual pop to it, and this would be that one. Really, really like this one. It's going to make a nice bag. And then I have this is going to be a little hard to see. I'm going to get kind of close here. This is like pine cones and pine needles. Actually, I don't see any pine cones in there, but it makes me think of pine needles. I think this one's going to make a beautiful bag. I have a dark green canvas to use with it. It's going to make it look really good. And I have a blue paisley. Paisley is always popular. It's like evergreen. I don't think I know anybody that doesn't like paisley. So it's this really pretty kind of a muted blue. And then I have this fabric, which we already have a bag made out of. And of course, you can see all of these things on our website, patchworkchickenstudio.com, and on our Facebook page, which you're on right now. I do post about these, and I know I've posted these, and you can also find them listed on Pinterest because I put everything up there. This has a lot of gold in it, and this bag turned out really nice with kind of a dark olive green canvas on the inside. And I had a couple more, and then we'll just about be done. So here is another pink. This is a floral, and this is much brighter than it looks like on camera. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it because it's a polished cotton. So polished cotton is, there's a technique they use on it as they're weaving it, which crushes the weft and the warp together really tightly. And so it ends up being slightly waterproof. It isn't really waterproof because if I threw this in the wash, it would get wet. But polished cotton helps to hold shape when they do it that method. Helps it to hold shape and gives it a little shimmer. And so this one does have, you can't see it, I don't think, but it has this little shimmer to it. So there'll be a pink bag out of that. And I have more apples, which I don't think are as cute as the other apples, but I still like it. And I have some cactus fabric. We like our cactuses here. We have bowl cozies with llamas on them that have cactuses. No, that doesn't make any sense because llamas don't live where there are cactuses. They live in the mountains in the Andes. There's no cactuses there, but they look cute anyway. And I did some cactus bowl cozies as well. And I thought this was really pretty. This is going to make a nice bag. And I have a blue. This is very similar to the pink. So this is a blue. It's a polished cotton. It's got that sheen to it. Makes it slightly waterproof. Oh, let's see. I have more. I have lots more. I like this. I actually bought a big piece of it. I was making a bolster for my mom's bed. So she has an older iron bed that's been painted white. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But for whatever reason, the mattress doesn't like get real close and doesn't get right up on the headboard. And so when you're sleeping, your pillow kind of gets sucked down in that little spot. And you wake up in the morning and your pillow's halfway down, between there. We tried everything to fix it, but I thought, bolster is fine. So I bought this fabric to make the bolster. And the bolster works, by the way. I made it sort of triangular shaped, and it was as wide as the bed was. And it works. So my experiment worked. I like to experiment. So, I said engineering. It's like engineering. But anyway, I have fabric left, and I think this is going to make a great tote bag. Probably with a green canvas interior. I think that'll work well for that one. And I have, this is so pretty. And when I bought it, I wasn't sure, but I like it. It's like little houses and bicycles and trees. Just makes me think of a little town. And you just kind of, one of those places you don't have to drive in. You can walk through it. But I really, really like this, and I'm gonna make this into a bag as well. I have some choices on colors here, so I could go with the green that's like right under my finger there, or I could go with this sort of blue. It's really a turquoise, like in the windows. I have some turquoise canvas as well, so I haven't decided yet, but I really do like that print. And then one of the things that I'm trying to teach myself is how to what we call free motion quilting. You can Google that if you want. Free motion quilting is, people use it to make quilts, like they'll sandwich up the quilt and it's all been put together, and then they run it through the machine, and you move it around and you just kind of do a random swirly design thing. Well, I'm no good at it. I've been trying. I don't have much patience. I wish I had more patience. But anyway, I've told myself I'm going to learn it. And so I bought this fabric that looks like a quilt. It's not really. It's just printed that way. But I thought I could sandwich this up and pretend it's a quilt and practice and see if I can get a piece that would look good if I put it on a tote bag. So that's kind of my idea here to do with this. So we'll see. We'll see if I actually get around to it. I have several machines where you can do that kind of work on. I just haven't been very successful at doing it. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up. We're close to half an hour here, and I do need to get some dinner before I get weak with hunger. Ha ha. I'm not really, I don't think I'll get weak with hunger. I'm just going to say that. But anyway, I thought you'd enjoy just seeing a little bit about what's going on. And if you're interested in the tote bags or seeing more of them, I've got some great pictures of them, finished ones online on our website. You can just go to patrickchickenstudio.com. And at the top, where you can click to see the different items, there's a drop down for all the bags, because that's not the only bags we make. So my business partner, Nicole, makes those drawstring totes that are so beautiful. We have some small mini drawstring totes, great for gift bags, or you can wear them as a wristlet, going to a party or something like that. And we have several other things. So that drop down lets you go see in all of those things that we have. And if you don't remember, it's me and it's Nicole, my business partner, who lives about a mile from me, mile and a half from me. And then it's my mother, Pam, who is our weaver. So a lot of weaving on our website. She's made some beautiful things lately because she's in Florida where it's warm and she just has time to do stuff. She can sit outside on the underneath her awning, because she lives in a little trailer down there, a little travel trailer down there. She can sit out in the nice weather and just weave and weave and weave. So we've got some nice things coming up. And we have a show coming up. So we have a show in 2 weeks, not even. We have a show next Saturday, the 9th. And that'll be our first show for the year. So we're excited about that, getting some new things out for that show. And that's in Fort Collins. So if you're a local, it's at the Fort Collins Senior Center, running from 10 to 4 on Saturday the 9th. So good time to start picking up some Mother's Day gifts or that kind of thing, because that's going to sneak up on you in a hurry. That's a little more than a month away. So pretty close. But anyway, that's where we'll be on the 9th. And really kind of excited about this year because things are kind of getting back to normal. And for us, it was a rough couple of years. And that was part of why I wasn't doing lives. I didn't have anything to talk about. We were making things, but we weren't selling anything to speak of because everybody was kind of, hiding out at home, which is what we needed to do. But we're beyond that now. And I've been hanging out a lot and getting my social chops back so I can hang out with people again, because I'm not a person that can live in a cave and not have interactions with people. When the only interaction is the grocery store, I'm not doing it right for me anyway. So it's kind of nice to be thinking about getting back out and doing things, and I'll be doing some traveling this year, hopefully, and some of my lives may come from when I'm traveling this summer because I miss that. I miss being out and doing things. So I hope you're all doing well and you're taking care of yourself and you're taking care of people around you. And I'm going to go get some dinner now. And look for me again next Wednesday around 6:30-ish, 6 or 6:30. I actually would have been on a little earlier tonight, except my camera wouldn't talk to my new laptop. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but I had to get a replacement laptop and it's making me mad. It doesn't do what the other one did. But anyway, I hope you're all great. If you're watching on replay, again, #replay, let me know you saw it. I'd love to hear your comments. And any questions you have, you can pop those right in the comments as well. Always happy to answer questions. And I hope to see you next week. Talk to you later.